Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Well, on another report, I hinted that I had some more information to pass on to you because I had talked earlier about using a steel shad lipless crankbait that worked incredibly for me in the morning fishing. Well, here's what happened later. After a couple hours of really good fishing, all of a sudden the fish just stopped. They stopped. You couldn't get a strike on anything. And so I wanted to give you some hints on what you do when that happens, because obviously the fish had slowed down. They weren't in this frenzy any longer. But if you change your technique and you go from fishing a fast-moving bait, like a rattle trap, a lipless crankbait like the steel shad, or a Cordell spot, or every company makes these type of baits. But if you slow back down, and now would be the time to use a Ned Rig or a tube jig. You know, tube jigs used to be the most popular bait in the St. Lawrence River area for bass. And now people have gone, they use drop shot baits, which are wonderful, and they use other things. But if you slow your technique down, now instead of bringing a bait by the fish at a fast speed, let the bait fall to the bottom like you do with a Ned Rig. And a lot of you might wonder, even though we've talked about it for years, what a Ned Rig is. A Ned Rig is nothing more than a little 3-inch worm, or a 3-inch looking like drop shot bait, but a 3-inch worm on a little light jig head. And the whole theme is big bass will hit little baits. And they love these Ned Rigs. You'd think it doesn't look like anything. It looks like a broken off cigar bit or something. I mean, it's not long enough to do much of any wiggle. And if it's designed properly, when it goes to the bottom, the worm will sort of stand upward off the jig head. And the fish see that. It's easy picking. And apparently, they love the look at it because it's a deadly bait to use. Tube jig, the same thing. You throw that out there, it's designed to be fished along the bottom, and you work it slowly along. Well, all of a sudden now, maybe the fish were hitting great at 8 in the morning, and they'll hit really at a rapid pace until 10 o'clock. And then things might change, and then they slow down. But if you slow down too, a lot of times you'll still be able to catch fish. And it's something I want you to think about as you go through the new season. As the day progresses, different things will work differently. Fish aren't going to hit all the time. There will be periods of time when you won't get a strike. But you know that the fish are probably still there, and they're just taking a break. If we ate all the time like we hoped the fish do, we wouldn't even be able to move. And it's the same thing with the fish. They only need so much food, and their bodies know that. And so they'll feed aggressively for a while, and they'll go through long periods maybe when they're very inactive. And then it becomes more of a challenge to coax them into hitting, not because they're hungry, but maybe because they're curious, or maybe because your lure upsets them and they just want to get rid of it. There's a lot of reasons why fish strike, and there's a lot of reasons why we can use our brains and experiment and catch fish. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.